First day of freedom in a while. I actually missed a backup shift, and Peter Foy was like, "You want to work today?" But I think I need like a day just to skate. Now, one thing that's interesting is, while trivially there is alien life in this universe, it's just a mathematical certainty. Or I would argue it's, if we exist, then it's possible, and if it's possible, it is far more likely than not that it is an iterated event. It doesn't necessarily mean that other life is DNA or whatever, but I'd argue it's a pretty long shot that there's not similar ideas popping up around all over the place. However, it's a rather scarce event. And as for like this notion of flying saucers visiting the Earth, I think the evidence is pretty sketchy. I think the History Channel's a little suspect. And I think when Jono and Andy said they saw a flying saucer, I'm pretty sure I saw the same thing, and it was a fucking drone. And it was fun to believe, you know? Dude, it was like this light, and it was like moving this one way, but then it suddenly jumped off like way too fast to be like a plane or anything, dude. It was also like, you know, why do you jump to the conclusion of an UFO when it could be an optical illusion, or I don't know, seems a little weird that you spend so much energy to get here from wherever just to like try and be all like invisible. Might as well say hi. Or I guess, I don't know. Also like the quality, I don't know. It reminds me of like my uncle or like my mom or my grandma. It's never just, you know, same thing with like people and their ghosts. Like in a sense, real ghosts are real in a sense, you know. But spooky haunting time, it's from movies, dude, and you know it, and it's fun, and we can like talk about it, I guess, but it's a little egomaniacal to be like, we called him like Smiley, and he was like always there. It was like this presence. But it's like, I don't know, I guess that's sort of like a modern god. Whoops. Dude, that guy's an alien. He's flying around somehow on a board without even walking or anything. Impossible. Impossible. That's what the dog thinks right there. Impossible. And he's roaring. See, I bet aliens are, you know, they're not just humanoids. Like, come on, how fucking self-centered must you be? Our form isn't the only form. Well, it does seem like an interesting, good form. It does seem to be kind of a rule of fives when it comes to life. And also a notion of bifurcation and dividing 5 into different pieces. I've been doing that rhythmically for exercises, going like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, like over and over. And then trying to like interpolate them with right and left hand. So like one's like 1, 2, yeah. It's a cool variation. I think it probably feels more polyrhythmic than it is. Like it's really just in 5. But then you like alternate how you like divide that 5. And I think there's probably even other interesting ideas you could do, like make the alternation pattern be built on 5 as well. Like, sure, that would be fun. Like run through where it's like the beats on, like you put emphasis on the 1, emphasis 2, emphasis 3, emphasis 4, emphasis 5, maybe emphasis 0 repeat. Emphasis 0 is like one I like to loop in. Or like putting rest into the exercise patterns so that you're like resting for 4 measures or something. Because that's actually a really useful skill live, is to like be able to be really tight on your rests. You know, I used to really emphasize tightness in only the playing. But Garrett said to me, I feel like drumming is often more about like the notes you're not playing rather than the notes you are. And you hear that phrase thrown around. But there's like a deeper truth to it. I've been really trying to work with my songs lately to like simplify things. Or it's almost dumb, but it's like seeking to emphasize a complexity that's on a more meta level, that's supported by whatever. So I guess I feel a little guilty that I missed like an extra work shift, because I've been like an extra $200, good for the wall, good for peace of mind, but it is what it is. Oops. Oh. Alright. Got in the middle of traffic there a little bit, my bad. Cold out, but I was told by the crossing guard that the weather's meant to turn next week or so. I think we should plan for a spring camping trip if you guys are in. I don't really know what to do per se, but throwing the idea out there. Kind of an early spring camping trip. It'll be kind of cold, so like I think we'll kind of have the run of the forest. Unlike August, it'll be like very people are like, you gotta wait a few weeks, but not us. Actually, I went camping one time right around now, maybe even a little later, with Oliver and Yuri, and we ended up knocking up a tent, and then we got frost all over our faces. It's so cold. It's funnier than that even. I knew we had to go earlier, and then we tried to find the camp. We should have just whatever. Everything's fine. It was a funny experience. What's it even mean to be alien? Like, in one sense, sure, I would accept, like, oh, look, it's arsenic-based life form, which I think they even discovered on Mars, And, like, that's already a real alien that we found. Maybe not as impressive as you wanted, but, you're going to expect to find a lot more initial ideas rather than pretty developed ideas. Earth is pretty cool. Also, life could be existing in particulate structures that don't really interact with us. So there could even be life right around here in on an axis which we don't really understand. Or we could even be part of a life. That's what I would argue the nature of God is that we're a part of a life form that we don't need to and cannot understand. Similar to like how your cells are a part of you, but they neither need to nor can understand that. It's kind of below their pay grade. But at the same time, like if it weren't for them doing all their tasks in their own little world, like in my world, it's like, oh man, I could use some potassium. Oh great, some potassium. It's pretty simple. They do their own thing, and then we like rely on that. We don't even like. I think thank you, cells in my body. Thank you, each and every one of you. And it's not even like one cell. They have like these whole life cycles, and then they'll die. And death is a part of you. Your skin, it's all dead. And the end of your hair. And, we are not purely living beings. It's interesting. So it's like, there's this super creature. And I think God's a perfectly good name for it. And then there's like organ structures. So like you might consider like humans to be an organ structure, a tissue of God. And then the God that is like DNA-based life, like that is one kind of thing, and it may not even exist by itself in such that, you know, it's part of a thing. And, you know, very possibly this universe is part of a thing. And what that means is not necessarily as clear to us as we may wish to know, but at the same time, you know, or, man, I gotta stop saying you know. You may or may not know. It doesn't really matter. Reality doesn't care much what you think of it, but it reacts well to those who do. Get me? I'm going on runs after work. Well, I did maybe like half the days. And the days that I did, I loved it. And the days that I didn't felt the worst. But even then, being stuck inside all day, hard fought. Next time, and like being glued to your phone. Like I missed work, an extra work shift this morning because I intentionally left my phone in the other room so that I could have a night and morning with no phone. Obviously I'm breaking that rule now or whatever, but this isn't even like what I'm worried about. I'm worried about reading infinite Reddit posts or checking certain web comics for the fourth time in a day. That's what I'm worried about. Woo! This part needs to be redone, please. So then what's it mean to be alien if we're part of one creature? For real. A creature with a will its own. Although our wills composite that will, if you think about it. Ain't that interesting? Then perhaps we're not, even these perceived aliens, we're not so dissimilar to. Quickly applicable to more current, I don't know, pseudo-political qualms. Like, it's absurd to me that nations have these borders and we think of people as, from other countries as, like, similarly different. Like, that's just so retarded. Oh, man. That's maybe, like, I even think retarded. What's wrong with that word? That word was fine. Because it meant what it meant. It's a good generic word. Whatever. I don't actually mean. What do I mean? It's just like stupid. Stupid doesn't mean to be. But then that word does work because it immediately means it's like slow. And I agree that certain belief structures are kind of behind the curve, if you will. Ignorant to the philosophical and spiritual work going on in our current day. And what that means. Who knows what that means? Well, meaning is so interesting. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is aliens should never be illegal. I mean, and this arrogance is slowing us down. It's such a waste of time. And it doesn't matter which way it works. Like, it could even be like, it's just when you warp your behavior based on these things that ought be, it's like divorcing yourself from reality. It's never about, quote unquote, what you are. It's about what you do. And remember, 4 good tenets. Don't compare. Be kind to yourself. Don't expect too quickly. And maybe that's a good point for me right now. Don't expect too quickly. And what was the last one? expect too quickly. Kind to yourself. Don't compare. Don't compare. What is it? Be kind to yourself. Don't expect too quickly. Don't compare. Expect too quickly. Don't compare. Kind to yourself. You guys remember? What is it? I want to keep repeating it so I don't forget. Expect too quickly, don't compare. That's such a shame. Whatever. Write in the comments below if you remember what the fourth tenet is. Don't compare. Don't expect too quickly. Be kind to yourself. With yourself, perhaps. I like that better. We can revise it constantly. Be kind with yourself. And one more. What is it? Write in the comments below. Don't be a stranger. Don't be an alien. Oh, you mean alien. Because in a sense, yeah, look, think about it the other way. In a sense, we are all aliens. We all are actually alone. No matter how much we convince ourselves that we have a family or a partner or a work community or whatever you want. End of the day, or that's a stupid phrase, but you literally, at the end of the day, you go to sleep with yourself. And as you sleep, you cannot interact with anyone but yourself. We do so in such interesting ways. Our dreams are so prolific. Such beautiful visions of what may be, what may have been something. I'm gonna get home, have some lunch. But see, even that stuff's like, there's so much more universal about our lives. What do we do every day? All of us. We wake up, find something to eat. We go through a few early day rituals. Even if those rituals are forsaken, that also is a ritual. Think about it. We wake up, eat breakfast. We all eat lunch. We all eat dinner. We all spend a lot of our days walking. Spend a lot of our days thinking. A lot. And what we're thinking about is a choice. I know it's often easy to think that it's not, because something feels so intensely, or you can't help it. But actually you can. And the fact that you even note those things is a sign. You can be what you want to be if you try. And I'm not even what I want to be yet, but I'm not going to get there if I don't try. Oops. Lost my balance there a bit, or hit a weird thing. You know how it goes. And trying isn't, or like, one mistake I see people and myself make with art is, this will be my grand moment, my grand art piece. And once I've done this, people will understand. And it's misguided, because you have to try every day. And what happens with these grand masterpieces is you'll overextend yourself and feel the need to recover. And in that, you end up practicing not doing it every day. And ultimately, that weakens you. And unfortunately, this mythos about artistry gets, burned in through myths that we tell ourselves. The tortured artist, the so crazy, how can you even understand what she's thinking artist. And it's like, please, I've never met anyone where I couldn't understand what they were thinking. Maybe a little bit. but not in the way that they, not in the way that SNL portrays Bjork. That's simply not how Bjork is. Now, I haven't even met her, and I can fucking tell you way more than that. She gets up, she eats breakfast, she has some work to do, she has lunch, she has dinner, probably works out a little bit sometimes, stuff like that. And then ultimately, though, no matter what she spends her day doing, she goes to sleep. And just like you or I, wakes up at 2 in the morning, go to the bathroom, and then maybe is anxious and having trouble getting to sleep or something. Twilight zones. Truly the Twilight zones. And your brain's kind of really beginning to trip itself out. Maybe we'll take some DMT tonight. Oh yeah, and then we'll talk to the aliens. Right? The aliens. But in a way, if we're an alien, ultimately we must be alien to ourselves. And if these tools we find, or these experiences we explore, help us to meet with that alien, such that we may get to know ourselves, that way only lies growth. There we go. And we're back home. Alright guys, don't be an alien. Let yourself in.